Yes, we'll be back from the break. It's 19 minutes to the top of the hour. You're still watching Smart Main's Business. I'm Andrew Barije, and here with Masuka Tim, and definitely driving your business all the way. But of course, before we proceed, I would love to remind you that the markets on the Zaba platform are on, and you can kindly participate by simply dialing *292#, which is the USSD code that will avail with options where you'll be in position to actually buy government bonds and securities for a fee of just 15,000 Ugandan shillings. Not exactly 8:15 a.m. That's when the markets open, and they run all the way to 3:15 p.m. That is East African time, and this is effective Monday up to Friday, apart from the weekends and the public holidays when this markets cannot be accessed. But of course, that's not the big deal. You have the rest of the days to capitalize and make money, something which personally I believe it's key and instrumental when it comes to financial growth and development. And that's why Zaba boldly comes out and tells you, well, it's my money and my future. And all the East Africa tells you, well, you gotta do something new for yourself. It is 2023. Well, something very interesting here. Of course, we know that in a significant move of showing its growing permanency, that is in the dairy sector, Uganda is gearing up to host the Africa Dairy Conference exhibition that is come 2023. Now, according to Samson Akankinza, that is the Executive Director of the Dairy Development Authority, this conference will increase, that is what we call the intra-regional trade, since the East African community and commercial countries will be in attendance. That is to explore the different areas they can actually trade with. Now, we see that the event is a testament of Africa's emerging strength in the dairy sector, with Uganda playing quite a huge role here. And the Executive Director of the Dairy Development Authority, that is Samson Akankinza, says the conference will increase the inter-regional trade between the East African and commercial countries. Now, the demand for milk is also expected to grow at about 3.5% every year. And of course, this creates a huge opportunity that is for trade and investment, not only locally, but also regionally at the same time and internationally, as we get to see. Now, we also need to understand that being the host nation, Uganda has the prime opportunity to showcase its dairy products. Of course, that is simply highlighting the quality, diversity, and innovations that set them apart. Now, through this platform, Uganda aims still to expand its market reach, introducing a global audience to its rich dairy offerings. Now, one of the highlights of the conference will be its focus on addressing the roadblocks that is in the dairy industry, from policy implications to regulatory challenges. And we know that experts will deliberate on practical solutions at the same time that would facilitate smoother trade in dairy products, that is within Africa and beyond. And the event seeks to craft actionable strategies to smooth out these obstacles and facilitate the trade.
Well, of course, you have to understand that Uganda is doing well when it comes to milk production, dairy production, but then you realize it spends a lot on importing dairy products, mostly powdered milk. If you took a lot of most of the dairy products, milk, even milk itself, some milk is actually imported. Powdered milk is imported, baby's milk is imported. So definitely we have to add value in our dairy products, because we have a capacity of producing as much milk as possible. So how about this could be an opportunity. Maybe, who knows, milk could be a uniting product for Africa, Combined together, we could be the largest producing continent, milk producing continent.
Yeah.
So definitely they're coming up, because different countries, okay, they may have the little sums we could have as different nations, we could sum them up and make a huge production of dairy products, because there are very many things that milk is used for, for cooking, for consumption. Babies consume milk products, so definitely we are actually doing well, regardless of Kenya having seized our milk production. But then we see we have had other markets other than Kenya, Algeria coming in too, and we're soon with this, is it a conference? We're going to have to expand our market. You know, we're going to get for reliable countries that are going to actually be helping us in trade. Intertrade is really important. You exchange goods. You know, I give you milk, you give me something else. So that is really key. But of course, for local dairy, we have enough milk.
Okay.
Though at times the supply, depending on the different seasons, yeah, it changes. The prices are a bit higher, but then for milk, it's there. Okay,
very interesting. And now, of course, as we wind up now, still to remind you, channel 372 on DSTV, channel that is at 320 on GOTV, and you can also reach us on free-to-air. You can catch us there. And on our social media handles at Smart24TV, that's on Twitter, Smart24TV Official, that's on Facebook, and Smart24TV Live, that's on YouTube. And here you'll be able to stream us at any part of the country you'll be at, as we bring you both local and international business updates. And also the great news is that you can download a Smart Digital application, which can enable you to stream Smart24 TV anywhere. You just go to your Google Play Store, download the Smart Digital application. You'll have quite a wide range of programming for you to actually check out. And also Smart24.tv, that's our official website. In case you're a business researcher and you're looking for updated business facts, you can reach out that website. It will give you that information rightly. But of course, as we are signing out, I would love to leave you this report in regards to Uganda hosting the dairy exhibition, and of course we shall be linking up tomorrow. Good morning.
How far have we reached in terms of access to market? Of course, we are embracing the African Continental Free Trade Area, and in that regard, the bilateral agreement was signed between the government of Uganda and government of Algeria to export powdered milk in excess of $500 million worth. And we've been working with the three companies that currently have the capacity to process and export powdered milk. That is Amos Dairies, Brookside, and Pearl. They already have the established capacities, but there is more room for expansion of the existing facilities to also have powdered milk production. So as a way of fulfilling the requirements to export, these companies have bidded, and the bidding process is being concluded this month, and there is a team coming to conclude on the logistics. So next month we'll start the export of the powdered milk to the Algerian market. Of course, the blockage of milk to our neighbor has been a conversation on stage, which I want to reiterate that it is not an issue of quality, but rather the NTBs that are happening. There is negotiation at the level of ESC in terms of free access, because the trade protocols allow us to freely trade across the borders. But in a situation where I find some permits are being allowed at the global stage, they say the market is open. But how many licenses have been cleared to take the consignments? So it leaves the market closed but open in terms of a few consignments going. So we want to strengthen the East African Dairy Regulatory Council, where we have the dairy boards, and we are in the conversation discussing if it is not the country's perspective, then why is there a blockage of such nature in terms of trade? So we want to strengthen the one of the side event is to have a discussion with the dairy boards across the East African community countries, and strengthen this interaction such that we are on the same page in terms of what is required to access markets, because they are accessing our markets free. The excess capacity, we are trying to have more investors on board in terms of having long shelf life products. We encourage the production of UHT and powdered milk, for which this can address the bumper harvest during the wet seasons. and address the issues in the dry season, because our feeding regimes are largely not being supplemented, so we rely on the weather in terms of having the pastures. We are, as DDA, encouraging supplementary feeding and fodder conservation, but in the meantime, we need to address the bumper harvests through having long shelf life products that can be processed during the bumper and then be sold during when there is scarcity. But what can address most of these issues in terms of price is to develop our local consumption as a country. Peter has said that they are currently double our consumption, and this is the market. When it closes, we all get stuck. Can't we also develop our consumption for the benefit it gives? Because milk is a wholesome food. It addresses cognitive development in children, but also is required by all age groups. Because the value chain, rather than sending at the low price to the producer, and yet you want that producer to remain in business. Because as you know that there's always the minimum for which you can produce something, and this will force some farmers to go into other commodities. Can we be equitable in terms of delivering the products to the consumers such that every player in the value chain benefits for sustainability, and also look at environmental sustainability? I call upon all of you to be with us for the rest of the 5 days, and we hope to share and learn a lot from it. Thank you very much.